Welcome to Real Estate Coaching Radio, starring award-winning real estate coaches and #1 international best-selling authors, Tim and Julie Harris. This is the #1 daily radio show for realtors looking for a no BS, authentic, real-time coaching experience. What's really working in today's market, how to generate more leads, make more money, and have more time for what you love in your life. And now your hosts, Tim and Julie Harris.
3, 2, 1, and we're back. Julie, welcome to the podcast. It is June the 21st. We had some really good reporting numbers. Podcast continues to pick up audience. It's always exciting to see all the different states and the different countries where we're picking up listeners. And thank you as well for continuing to make our book, Harris Rules, a bestseller on Amazon. It's got almost 500 five-star reviews. But of course, our book is available everywhere. We've seen it for sale at bookstores, at Barnes & Noble, and bookstores and airports and the whole 9 yards. So we sincerely appreciate your continued support, and we love the fact that you guys are appreciative of what we do. And this is really our mission. Our mission is to be of service to all of you. And in doing so, we're going to continue to give you the straight scoop, the no BS content that we know is going to get you into the end zone faster with the least amount of hassle. And along those lines, Julie, we received a really great, I would call this more of a letter,
yes.
if you don't mind reading it.
No, this is from Mike, who is an EXP agent. And, I asked him permission to use this, and his response was funny. He said, well, sure, but I don't know why. Doesn't everybody think this way?
Yeah, well, they do. But Mike, I know you're a daily listener, and here's the reason why we're sharing this. Because A, it was very nice, and a lot of people do say nice things, and but the very few people take the time to actually write things down and show appreciation. We sincerely appreciate that, just like all of you would when someone takes the time to write you a note as well. So, Mike, we do appreciate this, and all the rest of you too. What the heck are you waiting for?
There you go. All right, so from Mike in, I believe, Idaho. Tim, listening to your podcast from Friday, my fears are hilarious. People's fears are hilarious. They're real, but hilarious. As you know, I'm a new realtor, just a few months now into the game. I've already closed on 2 properties and listing my 3rd in just a few days. I'm working multiple listings. I should see results later this year, all from going out and having real conversations. I have a full-time job on the side and 3 kids under 7, of which we homeschool because, Mike's not busy enough.
Right, exactly.
So one of our best actions I took early on was joining your coaching. I pay $100 a month for your coaching, and I've made enough already to pay for your coaching for the next 4 years, LOL. To think I was scared to make that decision early on, ridiculous. Also, as an EXP agent, finally starting to contact multiple agents a day. I don't know, some of these are cold calls, but I use scripts, sending them to my Libertas website. My goal is to bring on 40 agents this year, and I'll keep you posted. Very grateful for you and Julie. You've completely changed the course of my family's life. Just a few months ago, I thought I'd close just 2 or 3 homes a year, and that's completely transformed into something that will become not just passive income, but because I can will this to my kids, what I call legacy income, from Mike in Idaho. So thanks again, Mike, for sharing that. There's a lot in just a couple of paragraphs there.
Well, I was thinking he's probably for the first time in his life beginning to understand the significance of creating passive income.
Yes, and predictable and duplicatable income.
Exactly. And he's a coaching client right out of the gates with this real estate license, and he'll always know, no matter who he runs across, he's never going to be bamboozled into buying any sort of gimmicks or shiny objects, because he's going to be smart enough to always run things through the profit filter, right?
And he started out of the gates as a listing agent.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it is kind of funny too. So we often say, obviously, we have coaching clients of all different experience levels and ages and all the other differences that make all of us unique. But it is fascinating to me how easy it is for a new agent to lock into our system quickly, and how much the agents that have been in the business forever struggle. And the reason they struggle oftentimes, not always, but oftentimes, well, let me counter what I just said. We have people that will come to us that are agents that have been in the industry for a long time, who know what we're saying is true because they've tried everything else, and now they're basically coming back around to the fact they need to be proactive lead generators and be profit. Essentially, their product is profit. So those agents are fantastic.
Yes.
Because they really truly understand the importance of what we're teaching. New agents, though, oftentimes the smart ones, truthfully, won't waste their time trying to learn what they shouldn't do. They'll just skip right to the head of the line and do what they should have, what the more seasoned agents that have basically decided to get into the boxing match a million times.
Yeah, this is true.
So it is fascinating, though, how the learning curves of some agents, I don't know what, I can't really attribute it to anything other than it's ego. Because if you've been in the business a long time and you've invested a lot in long time in real estate, could even be 5 years, and you invested a lot of time into things and money into things with the hopes and, building your brand, your logo, your website, and all these other types of things you guys spend money and time on doing, your videos and all the rest of it. And it's almost impossible for your ego to want to admit that maybe you just followed the wrong path. And by wrong path, I mean the path that's not going to get you to build, transacting houses that's going to result in you having a profit. Now, I want to be clear. You guys can buy leads and pay referral fees until the cows come home. And a lot of you do. And then you equate success with the number of units you sold, not with the amount of profit you make. Julie and I are very particular about what we teach all of you, because at the end of the day, all the plaques, all the awards, all the recognition, all the trophies, all the adulation from strangers that your ego tells you it needs, in other words, you're choosing to be famous more than you're choosing to be rich, all of that stuff, the older you get, the less it matters, to the point where you will resent the old version of you for having actually chased that rabbit, opposed to focusing on being of service to other people and building wealth. Does that make sense?
It absolutely does. So
yeah.
he mentions coaching, so maybe you want to mention that.
Right, guys. So just hop on over to timandjulieharris.com and click on coaching and join the coaching program. The Premier Coaching Program is a perfect place for all of you guys to start. If you want to receive more information, just text the word success to 47372. Text the word success to 47372. But really the easiest thing for you to do is just go over to timandjulieharris.com. It works great on mobile, and go to coaching and click on the first program, which is Premier, and then just join the Premier Coaching Program. It's around $100 a month, and it's a no-brainer for all of you. And that Premier Coaching Program is a complete system. This isn't just a idea bazaar and mastermind. Let's sit around and decide what the latest and greatest whiz bang gimmick is going to be on. Right?
Mike's an example of that.
Exactly.
Okay?
I mean
he said he pays $100 a month for coaching. That means he financed it. But he has already, as a newer agent who is already a listing agent, earned enough to pay for that 4 times over.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's the system.
Right. And there's thousands of you guys that are actively enrolled in our coaching programs right now. And we're actually, I didn't tell you this, Julie, we're putting up a new pin map where all of our coaching clients are. We're probably only going to be able to do it in the United States and Canada, though. But it is, how many people? 4,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is. So listen, long story short, guys, the reason that we're the leading coaching company, the reason that we have, literally thousands of you that are enrolled in our coaching programs is because we do what we say. We deliver what we say we're going to deliver. And if you're looking for the shortest path, not for all of you, some of you are going to recoil when we ask you to be proactive lead generators. You're just not ready for it mentally and emotionally. You're not really committed to your real estate career. But that's a minority of you, 1 or 2%. The rest of you, you don't want to mess around. You don't want to fool around. You actually want to be successful now. Well, why would you do anything else other than doing things that will make you successful now? Why would you start, investing in things or doing things that maybe someday will hopefully, it's because you're being lied to. It's because you're being manipulated into believing that passive lead generation stuff is going to, essentially help you create a sustainable business. Whereas in your gut of guts, your heart of hearts, the answer is always going to be a proactive lead generator. So go to timandjulieharris.com, click on coaching, and the first coaching option is Premier Coaching. You can join for around $100 a month. So what do you have for us today, Julie?
Yes, so we have the 5-day work challenge, and we started this on a Monday for a reason. You've got 5 days and no excuses. So are you working proactively or passively? Are you spending 80% of your day generating new business or 80% of your day doing what you lovingly call work theater?
Yep.
How do you know? Well, what would happen if you took the 5-day work challenge? Now, I love this challenge because anybody can do 5 days. Grizzled veterans, newbies, doesn't matter. 5 days. So here's the challenge. Write it down. Get it done. Work 5 days in a row, spending 80% of your time doing only proactive lead generating activities. Now, how do you know if you're doing proactive lead generating activities? Well, you can easily keep track. You're going to create your own graph. So get out a new piece of paper and make 2 columns. You got a left-hand side of the page and a right-hand side of the page. On the left-hand side, write proactively working towards my goals. And there's only a few things that belong there. Our longtime listeners can read them with me. Lead generation, lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, presenting, negotiating, or closing. And you might add a nice little lather, rinse, repeat. So again, generating the lead in the first place. If you are not great at that, the rest of the list doesn't really matter. Okay. So generating the lead, furiously fast lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, presenting, negotiating, and closing.
Let's drill down even farther, guys. And this is a message to all of you. Stop trying to be good at things that don't matter. The only things that really matter that you're good at are proactive lead generation, like we teach you in our coaching program. And our lead generation techniques cost you nothing, by the way. We're not trying to sell you leads or get you to buy leads, not even referral fee leads. The next thing is, as Julie said, lead follow-up, or we like to call furiously fast lead follow-up, being first to the lead. There's been all kinds of studies been done on that. People will work with the first salesperson they talk to 9 times out of 10, even if that person is inexperienced. So being furiously fast to the lead is what's going to win the day. Obviously, being furiously fast to the lead and knowing what questions to ask and what order to ask, i.e. pre-qualifying them correctly, leads to the next point, which is pre-qualifying. Pre-qualifying for motivation, pre-qualifying for all the things that we give you in the pre-qualification script. We have one for sellers, we have one for buyers. Presenting is also very important, but truthfully, our listing presentation is pretty damn easy, especially after you send the pre-listing pack.
Indeed.
There's really not a lot of sales skills required in our listing presentation when you use the system, because the system does most of the selling for you. And the last 2 points Julie wrote down were negotiating and closing, but really negotiating in this market is easy, and closing we want you for the most part delegating once you've got enough transactions going on, hiring somebody to do that work for you. So really it comes down to lead generation, lead follow-up, pre-qualifying, and presenting. Those 4 things, if you get good at those things, you don't have to ever get good at anything else.
And that's actually work. I mean, that qualifies as 80% of your day should be spent on those things. Now, the right-hand side of your page is what we call work theater. Things I can delegate, or things that look like work but are actually unproductive, passive, waiting on, etc. So you might put on this list anything starting with the words waiting, tweaking, or analyzing.
Or testing.
Getting ready to, anything like that.
Thinking about.
Taking a survey about.
Right, exactly.
Anything you're waiting on somebody else to do. Lead generation easy buttons you've paid for and are hoping to the real estate gods that they might actually work. Hopium is not actually a plan. Social media that isn't directly related to supporting your listing or buyer side. So something that might go on the left-hand side under the social media category could be a video testimonial at a closing table.
Well, I mean, here's the litmus test to make Julie's point. If you had to take, what is the 21st of June, and between now and the end of the month, you have to take, 2 listings, and you don't have 2 listing leads. These are 2 listings you have to take. You have to take them or you're going to lose your house. Something bad is going to happen if you don't take 2 listings. Immediately, some of you are feeling the sweats. Others of you are saying, I know exactly what I would do. And so you have to take 2 listings. You don't have listing leads. What are you going to do? Most of you are going to say, I'm going to call my centers of influence and past clients first. And I would say, no, that is not the answer, because the probability of you finding a seller that wants to list their house between now and the end of the month by calling your centers of influence and past clients, they're people that you definitely should be working. It's a great list, but that is not the go-to. The go-to are all the people who already have their hands in the air in your marketplace saying, yes, I have a house to sell. Doesn't it just make sense that Visbo, you've been driving by every single day to Starbucks, that person is somebody who would actually list their house with you? And we have given you guys story after story after story from people who've never prospected unrepresented owners, aka for sale by owners, where essentially with these agents were learning on the job, doing exactly what we said, learning what to say and how to say it with the actual seller, right? They weren't just role playing it and getting ready to get started for 14 years. Knock, 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 ring, 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 and they take the listing.
Yes, in fact, in our Facebook Live session today, it was like dripping with for sale by owners that were listings taken. Because right now, with the market being pretty hot in most places of the country, we do have the uprise of the for sale by owner.
Sure.
But, it's so funny that agents believe that they're somehow like so set in their ways, I'm going to do it myself. And that might be true on day 1 or day 2. And then the for sale by owner, if they don't sell right away, kind of loses their will to do it on their own.
We tell you guys what to say when you follow our scripts. We tell you what they're going to, basically the for sale by owners always say the same thing in the same exact order. Right? They literally will. They never deviate. You can talk to 10 different FSBOs in 1 week, and they're all going to say pretty much the exact same thing, the exact same way, and the exact same order.
A lot of times they'll tell you the exact date they're going to give up.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Awesome. Yeah, I know. It's almost like they have a Tim and Julie, our antithesis that's coaching FSBOs, right? Yeah, but it's hilarious when you realize that this is a very, very, very simple industry and business, as long as you do not allow other people to sell you into the belief that it's not.
Exactly. So I did ask our Premier Coaching members to be honest. How much of your time are you actually spending doing activities that lead directly to business? Well, what were their responses? Kind of mixed, but a lot of them confessed that they're doing things that they previously thought were productive, but now realize are passive. So that's when we created the 5-day work challenge. Okay, now I'll give you an example of this. Somebody that's being proactive about this is Dan in Reno. Just hung up with him right before the podcast. Sometimes this is just a little tweak, right? So what he did differently was he said he's got systems set up, sends out newsletters, he's got email campaigns and stuff like that. And he said, you know what? Here's what I'm doing. When I get a response back, I don't text them back. I don't email them back. I don't video them back. I pick up the phone and I call and I get more appointments.
Of course.
Now that's a proactive tweak that would be in the dollar productive category. Okay. Now, what are the results? Well, the agents that are taking this seriously are, quote, shocked at the difference that this type of focus makes. More appointments, of course, but also a much better awareness of what gets results.
All right, head coach Julie, why are they shocked?
I think that they want so hard to believe that the passive stuff will work. And, like once in 1,000 days, somebody will work from that. And so that's like confirmation bias. Well, but this one time it worked out.
I think
they want it to work.
I believe what you're saying is true, but I think there's another reason why.
What?
Because we're the only ones that are telling them this.
What?
We're the only one that are telling them this. We're the only ones that are. We are the only ones that are telling in the industry. They're telling you guys what we're telling you. Who else? Who else says this stuff? Nobody. Because even your broker. Some of you. They never learned how to do it. For the most part, the Tim and Julie way, right? So they're then basically following all these overly complicated things. There's the kind of absolute, really, almost. It's sad. It's so funny, or funny. It's almost so sad. I don't know which. But where you guys have it in your minds that, when somebody emails you, that means you're only allowed to email them back. Someone texts you.
I don't know who started that line.
I know.
It's
it's
not
such
coaching.
crap.
It's crap.
Yeah.
I know. There's no, in our 18 relentless lead follow-up rules, which is part of coaching, one of the rules is don't have different rules for different people.
Everybody gets a call. Call. That's it.
I don't know why it has to be so complicated.
But I have to say, it gives an unfair advantage to the agents like Mike who are smart enough to, call. Yeah. Because if they say a seller is combing through listings of potential houses they want to buy, and the other agents they're essentially putting them in his drip campaign or all the rest of it, and Mike calls them, of course he's going to get the business.
Yes.
Guys, we gave you a real statistic. I really do think the number was in the 90% of the time people work with the first agent that they actually speak to. So your job is to speak to them. And no, millennials, a text is not the same. And I am a text fiend. Trust me, I love texting. Matter of fact, if you guys want to join eXp Realty and you're looking, it's a perfect way for me to pitch that. Why not?
Okay.
If you guys are looking to join eXp Realty and you're looking for a sponsor who obviously will be very proactive with helping you be successful in eXp Realty, please do feel free to text Julie and I directly, and this is my real text, 512-758-0206, 512-758-0206. And when you do, I'll send you a link to a video to watch, and then we'll have a conversation, and chances are you're going to move forward and be part of Julie and I's eXp group. If you want to skip the line, you can actually just go over to libertas.com, libertas.com/Harris. And then you can learn about our Libertas group, which is our group inside eXp. So it's Libertas, Libertas. Or you know what? I just thought of something. Just text EXP to 47372 and it'll text you back a link to that website. Text EXP to 47372 and we'll text you back a link to the website. And you can just watch it right now on your phone. Or if you'd like I said, if you're ready to join and you're looking for a sponsor, you can just text me directly, 512-758-0206.
Yes. So what do you do with all this? Now that you are having the realization that 80% of your day should be in dollar productive activity, not in work theater, your homework is set specific goals for what results you need from your 5-day work challenge. Be specific. Listing appointments, buyers in contract, price reductions for some of you, listings taken. Okay, so what do you actually want out of this week, and what action are you going to take? It's funny, Tim, they almost always go, to the passive, I just need to talk to my past clients. But then they think about it for a while, and all the time, it happens so much on coaching calls. They'll go, oh yeah, there's this lead that I just need to close, or this person, I just need to talk to them one more time. It's like you're waiting for them to come to you. It's not their job to close themselves.
Guys, use that the mindset thing. That's really all it was. You have to take 2 listings in the next 10 days or else, right? And you can create the greatest motivator is not thinking about gaining something. The greatest motivator is fear of losing something you already have. And one of the superpowers that anybody who's really, really successful and wealthy has almost every single time is that they came from nothing and they saw maybe they had some financial hardships. And so all they have to do is rekindle that sort of fear. And obviously it's a psychological fear, but they just have to kind of tickle that psychological fear in such a way that motivates them to do what they wouldn't have otherwise done, especially when they're at the point in their lives when they financially don't even have to do it. Yours truly uses that mechanism, by the way. So do use that as a motivator. So if you want to push yourself through, if you want to know what it feels like, actually just touch on the inspiration that some of you claim you're looking for. Just imagine if you're going to lose your house in 10 days, if you don't take 2 listings, not create listing leads, but take 2 listings. Do you feel that angstful feeling? Are you now doing everything in your power to make that feeling go away? Or are you letting that what you're labeling as stress, are you allowing that stress to manifest into some actual desire and then a plan? I mean, that's really what we're all about. So if you're somebody who spends his or her whole life trying to basically nerf up your life so you don't have to feel that anxiety, that right there is the problem that you have in your life. You need to allow yourself to feel the fear of loss, because then you can use that as a motivator for you to actually do what you don't want to do when you don't want to do it at the highest level. Some of you, not all of you, know exactly what I'm talking about.
Because they waited too long until the actual fear actually happened, like, a health problem or an insurance bill you couldn't handle, or worse, an IRS bill. They find their motivation instantaneously.
Well, exactly. But nothing motivates somebody like fear of losing something you already have. Like, for example, use this example. If you look at the things that you guys always pay on time, your cell phone bills, your car payments, right? So if you're going to lose your cell phone, if you don't come up with $1,000, there's no way in hell you're not coming up with $1,000, right?
Because there's immediate retribution. That's why.
Exactly. There's an immediate pain. You're going to lose something you already have. But there's also, like, I had a call this morning. I don't remember the gentleman's name, and I know he's a listener too, but he's going to join our coaching program. He's also joining EXP.
Cool.
And, gosh, I can't believe I don't remember his name. I talked to like 10 people today is my problem. But anyway, so he told me he's 58. He's been in real estate before. He's been entrepreneur. He's very, loves being with people, has the right mindset. There's definitely a servant, he knows his highest and best use in this plan is being of service to other people. But he's 58. He's got grandkids. He's not yet hit it out of the park financially. He knows he's still got it in himself. Him and his wife is together. And they're going to make this go around to be the thing and you know what? I'm 100% sure they'll do it too.
Yeah, because you can hear the commitment.
You can hear it. Well, you can feel it.
Yeah.
Because they're 58. They still have plenty of life left in them. I mean, 20, 30 years, God willing, right? Maybe longer.
Sure.
And they want to travel. They want to do things. They want to leave a legacy. They want to set an example for all their, progeny. They want to actually make it so they're the people that they always promised themselves that they would be, and they're not going to screw around anymore. Now, here's the secret for all of you. Make that feeling manifest within yourself when you're 28 or 18, or if not 38 or 48. Don't wait.
Just now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. Okay, so for example, one of the great business book, The E-Myth Revisited, written by Michael Gerber, subtitle, Why Most Businesses Don't Work and What to Do About It. Well, he's got a great quote. He said, the difference between great people and everyone else is that great people create their lives actively, while everyone else is created by their lives, passively waiting to see where life takes them next. The difference between the two is living fully versus just existing.
Damn, woman. Good quote.
Thank you.
Wow.
Well, it kind of sums it up, right?
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean, you can wait for your business to do whatever it's going to do and be reactionary.
Well, that's your life too.
Sure. Or you can take control and this is just a 5-day challenge. We have 90-day massive action plan. We've got bigger plans. But I love these little sprints because they get instant results when they're serious about it.
It is an interesting, a lot of people, like when you're thinking about setting goals and you're thinking about all that stuff, it's almost impossible. Not saying impossible, almost impossible for most people unless they've mastered being able, or at least they're very good at being able to set and accomplish short-term goals, to ever have any shot at setting and accomplishing long-term goals.
Yes.
Because all a long-term goal is when you set a goal, it doesn't matter what it is, you break it down into large steps, then smaller steps, and smaller steps to a point where you're actually taking that large goal, something is supposed to happen maybe 3 years from now, and you've broken it down to maybe the 2 things or the 3 things you're supposed to be doing every single day in service to that future goal. And now, not all goals are that. I mean, and as you get used to it, your whole life basically becomes like that. You're always working towards something. Yeah, you don't think about it. You don't sit around and say, okay, what is it that I want to accomplish? Well, you do automatically always think about what you want to accomplish in 5 years. It's not a moment where you're thinking about it. You're always moving towards something. And that's the other thing that's interesting is you got to always overlap goals.
That's true.
Don't just be done, because then you could be done for like 2 or 3 years celebrating the accomplishment of something. When you're about halfway through accomplishing one goal, set another one.
Well, that's right. And a lot of our coaching clients are having their best quarters or best months ever. And so that's a particularly challenging time because you've got to stay in momentum and lather, rinse, repeat, right?
That's right.
So that's okay. We're super proud of you, but you have to be able to create while you're, nurturing what you've already done. And that's where coaching comes in. We help them out a lot.
So Julie, very good podcast. I appreciate it. So guys, thank you. Thank you for continuing to make this number 1 listened to daily podcast for real estate professionals. Dare I say on planet Earth? Who knows?
We'll find out. Too soon to tell.
That's right. In the meantime, you guys have a fantastic day. We'll talk to you on the show tomorrow.
This program has been a presentation by Tim and Julie Harris, Real Estate Coaching. For more information on our real estate coaching and training programs, visit our website at timandjulieharris.com. Remember to tune in weekdays at noon for upcoming shows, and until next time, thank you for listening to Real Estate Coaching Radio with Tim and Julie Harris.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.